Hi, everybody. It is episode 599 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. I am Chris. With me is Druten
Hello.
and Walnut.
Hi, I'm here.
Guys, it's almost 600.
A lot. It's not over 9,000 though, so we're fine.
I always forget what the actual thing was. It was lower than 9,000.
It's 900.
Was it 900 in the originally?
I'm pretty sure it's over 900.
I thought it was still in the thousands. If it's 900, that's a little sad.
All right, maybe it was in the thousands because I was watching a video today and apparently Vegeta's power level was supposedly like 18,000 or 1,800 or something like that at the time.
18,000. Yeah, so Vegeta was like more than double Nappa's power in that first arc. Which is why like Goku really struggled against him. Like that was not a clean victory in any way, shape, or form. It wasn't really even a victory. Like it took 4 people to actually beat Vegeta, and one of them kept using the Kaioken. So what I'm saying is, fuck Goku.
I mean, this is Google AI is saying 8,000.
Okay, that seems. I know it wasn't like a huge difference,
but 32,000 when he used Kaioken times 4, which is probably where we get the over 9,000.
No. So it was literally just a translation thing. So in the original dub of it, when Goku first shows up, and he powers up, not using the Kaioken, he goes from like 200 because they kept themselves repressed, up to 9,000, and they initially they're just like, oh, Nappa, you can just stomp him, it's fine. It's over 9,000, that is more than Nappa. And that's when Vegeta goes, oh, this thing is broken, and crushes it.
Yeah. So I saw a buddy sent me a video today about, the dumb internet videos and anime videos that people ask. And it's like, one of the questions was, would Krillin be able to beat any of the ninjas in Naruto? And the person went through the logistics of Krillin's power level, which apparently Krillin's power level is above par of, like, is like in the tens of thousands. During the Namek saga.
That sounds about right.
Like 70 or 80,000, something like that, I think. Which, according to this person, to have the ability and strength to destroy a planet, you need only about 10,000 of a power level. And Krillin had I think he said he had like 25 times more the power level, like he said near a quarter more than what Vegeta had during the Saiyan saga or something. I don't remember. But he has an incredibly
they all powered up a bunch.
Yeah. And it was just like the whole video was, Krillin, although looked at as one of the weakest in that series, can kick any ninja's ass.
Well, I mean, he was also still strong enough to end up in the Tournament of Power.
Yeah. I mean, but also so was Hercule, so...
No, he wasn't.
I'm pretty sure he was in the Tournament of Power.
No. Master Roshi was.
Oh, you're talking about Super.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Z. The tournament with Cell, because that's all that show ever does. The Cell games, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that doesn't count because Hercule just showed up and then immediately got stomped.
He was still there.
Yeah, but that was not an invite-only tournament. Yeah. That was anyone show up. The Tournament of Power was 10 teams of 10 fighters or something like that. Yeah. And Goku picked Master Roshi over Yamcha.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, he also picked basically every possible character over Yamcha.
Yeah.
Because there's actually even there's an episode during that whole thing where Yamcha's at home literally waiting for the call.
Yamcha's just a baseball player. That is all Yamcha is. He's a professional baseball player. Like, that is it.
I mean, he is stronger than the average human. Like, he would kill you.
Yes, but like, it doesn't take a lot to kill me.
I mean, and
anybody could probably kill me.
To be fair, there are quite a few, like, Yamcha could beat a lot of the Naruto-verse.
Oh, for sure. But at the same time, we don't ever see Yamcha training.
Lies.
Like,
during the Saiyan saga, he trains on Kami's lookout with everybody.
Oh yeah, he trains in Otherworld when he's dead.
No, I mean that too, but I mean they do show him after Boo blows up the world. Him and Krillin are training in like the Grand Kai world that doesn't actually exist. That's all filler though. But no,
Yeah.
in early Z, like when after Goku dies from and they beat Raditz, Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu, and Krillin all go to do the training that Goku did on Kami's Lookout. Goku just did it during Dragon Ball, and his training was actually all off screen. You never actually see him really train with Kami. He goes up there, does a little training, and then
Probably goes and plays baseball again.
well, no, then he gets killed by fucking the Cybermen or whatever they were called, the little green dudes, and then he does train on King Kai's planet for a while too.
Yeah.
So he does a little training, but yeah. Did you see that they are remaking the Beerus movie?
No, I did not. The
Yes.
Battle of the Gods?
Yeah, they're calling it
they-
Dragon Ball Super Beerus or Beerus,
Why?
however you say his name. I don't know. I think what I saw was they're going to make it manga accurate now, like because what they ended up doing with that is so when they started doing Dragon Ball Super, the first two arcs were longer tellings of Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F. But then Toriyama actually started working on the manga again. The manga was just a monthly release versus weekly, so it took longer for them to like run through those stories. So some of those movie plots actually got more detail and stuff to them than they got in the actual like movies or shows. And it's also been like 15 years or something like that, 12 years since the movie came out. So they're remaking that movie. They're also finally doing the next arcs for Super. They're going to do the Moro arc.
Okay.
Which was one of the better arcs. It finally gave Vegeta like half a win.
Half a win. Poor Vegeta.
Well, like it's one of those arcs where like they give him because Toriyama actually didn't work on it as much. Toyotaro, his like protege, was apparently like the one who did the majority of that, and like gave Vegeta actual like legit character development, not just like angry development.
Yeah,
because Toriyama notoriously did not care for Vegeta.
It shocks me. It doesn't shock me, but it shocks me because like he makes all the villains become good, but doesn't really care about them anybody besides Goku, really.
Unfortunately, yeah. But enough Dragon Ball. Rich, what's on the agenda?
This week I played some games and Cobb watched some TV.
Yeah, that's actually pretty succinct.
Yeah, I mean that's really what it is. Yeah, I played a couple of new games this week. Got into some things. Just check them out, and whatnot. And yeah, but yeah, I guess we'll just start.
What game do you want to start with?
Well, I started playing Tomb Raider, the very original 96 remastered version though. Because I got enough subs on stream to have me play. That was one of the redemptions. It was 20 subs. 20 total subs, and so we reached that number, and so I started playing Tomb Raider, and that game is just chock full of nostalgia. It is so I remember so much about it, but also so little about it because it's been
about
20 30 years since I've played it. But it's I like the remaster. I like the art style that they went with the remaster, especially with the character design for Lara and the other characters in the game. But like it's fun. I love that a lot of these remaster games, what they do is they give you a button that you can hit and it'll kick it back down to the previous game's like graphic style and what it looked like.
Oh, did they do that for this one?
Oh yeah, they do. Every developer that does a remaster like this will do it, and they did it for this one. And oh my god, is it shocking at times? It's like my favorite is like because this was back in the time where like to get away with making certain set pieces, they just put a flat 2D surface, and no matter which way you turn the camera, it was always facing you perfectly. And so there's this skeleton that I can go up to, and it's like in the remastered graphics, it's all 3D and it looks really rad and cool. And then you flip to it, and it's just this 2D thing just sitting on the middle of a pillar, and like you walk around it, and it just follows you. The face follows you, the front follows you everywhere you look. It's great. It's great. Yeah, it's fun to go back to this one. Tomb Raider was a game that like. The Tomb Raider series was a game that I grew up with. and like it was one of the first games I remember playing outside of like Super Mario Bros. Really. Um, and it's just it's fun. It's interesting. I was hoping I only played for about 3 hours. I was hoping to get to the point where you encounter King Midas's hand, because I wanted to end stream by turning gold, but I didn't get to that part yet. But I am in Greece, and what's hilarious is Greece is the second chapter of the game. First chapter you're in the Himalayas, I believe, and then the second chapter you're in Greece, and you're in this like this church cathedral, and you go down after you like solve the puzzles in the main room, the first room. You start going down, and there's just a long horizontal room with a couple of rooms in it, and you have to get to the bottom and pull all the switches. And like the switch at the very top opens the door at the very bottom. The switch at the very bottom opens the door at the very top. So you have to get all the way down, then go all the way back up, and then go all the way back down again. And again, we're Greece, Greek mythology, and there that you see a door for Atlas, and you see a door for Pluto, I believe, or Neptune, and then you see a door for who was it Dionysus, maybe? And then you see a door for Thor.
Interesting.
Yes, Thor. Not Odin, Thor. And it's like, y'all know that's Norse. That's not Greek. That's like that's Norse mythology right there. They're not the same pantheons.
It's
They're not the same areas. It made me laugh so much when they showed Thor. And I didn't remember it back then. I had no recollection of there being a Thor door or anything like that. But it was funny. And yeah, it's a good time to just replay and have that little bit of nostalgia and fun. I believe it's all the same voice VO from the original game, all the same set design and everything else is just up-resed. I think it's like they even like did this. It's just straight up an up-res where like it's got all the same glitches and stuff that it had back in the original game and whatnot, and you can like use those glitches to speedrun it and whatnot. It is what it is, but yeah, it's a cool, faithful remaster, and I was gifted this one, the triple pack 1, 2, and 3 for my birthday, and then I got 4, 5, and 6 for the Humble Bundle last month. So maybe I'll be playing through all the Tomb Raiders this year. Who knows?
Fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
When you say all the Tomb Raiders, you just mean like that trilogy, or like do you mean like all the Tomb Raiders?
1 through 6. Probably because there's the original Lara Croft series goes so far. There's 6 early PlayStation. I think is it 6 PlayStation 1 titles?
I don't think so. I think it's just 3 on PS1.
Then yeah, it's probably 3 PlayStation 1, 3 PlayStation 2, and then a PlayStation 3 had a couple, but they weren't numbered. They were like Tomb Raider Legends and shit like that, and that's all still the
Angel of
original
Darkness
Lara Croft
and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's all original Lara Croft.
Isn't
so,
one
like,
of them actually what they're the newer remake they're doing?
the first one? They're completely
that is still the first one.
They're completely remaking the original Tomb Raider from ground up.
Because it's called like Atlantis or something like that, right?
I don't know what it's called. I just know it's the first one. But probably if it's I believe that's what this one's about. I think that's what it is. It's Atlantis. But yeah, it's like I'll at least play through 1 through 6 and then see if the others of the original Lara Croft saga are available and might play through those, because there's a few of them I never played through. And I don't know which one it was. Maybe it was 5, where she actually, like, the start of the game is her dying, and then you playing through her butler telling a story of how she died, and obviously she didn't actually die or something. There's a lot of them. There's a lot, but like it's funny watching this or playing this game and encountering your first human that you fight near the end of the Himalayas on the second to last level of the Himalayas world. And you don't kill him. He's still alive. And then you encounter somebody else in the Greece stage several times, and once he gets to half health, he runs off. You don't kill him because Lara Croft in Tomb Raider 1, I believe, kills 2 people in the entire game. 2 humans.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she doesn't. It might even only be 1.
I was going to say I was surprised it's that early that you see a human.
I knew that you saw a human, but I thought it was like in a different scenario. I thought like because I remember it was like in the original game, like she leaves. I thought it was like she leaves like the cave and there's somebody out there. But that I might be remembering Tomb Raider 2 more so than Tomb Raider 1.
Same, honestly.
Yeah, I've never actually played the original Tomb Raiders, so I can't. Yeah, I don't even know if I've ever actually seen someone play the original Tomb Raiders like anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first time I ever like really saw people play it was like the PS2 era ones, and I played the recent like Crystal Dynamic ones.
So Tomb Raider 1, she gets, according to this Reddit article from 6 years ago, she gets 6 kills in Tomb Raider 1.
Wow.
Tomb Raider 2, 273. Tomb Raider 3, 162. Tomb Raider, it skips 4 for some reason, unless 4 doesn't have any human kills. 5 has 72. Angel of Darkness, 63. Legends, 225. TRA, which I don't know what TRA is. Anthologies? No, I don't know. 1. And then you get TRU, which I don't know what that one is, 53. And then you get into the remake saga. 2013 gets 456. Well, it says average of 442 and 470 taken from a different user because it had characters that respawned and shit. The sequel to that, Rise of the Tomb Raider, 618, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider, 319.
Wait,
and
that
like
really? That's it in those games? In one of them, you literally murder an entire fucking South American village by just negligence.
I don't think it's counting like.
No, I know that.
Inadvertent deaths. It's counting like her actual specific murders. Edit the count does not include neutral NPCs such as the monks of the monastery, which only turn into enemies if Lara attacks them. Yeah, so like their most kills in her original games was from Tomb Raider 2, and then boom, the remakes. It's like, nope, we're gonna almost double her most kills in the first game, and then we're going to like triple that in the next one.
Man, everyone wants the fucking violence. Violence sells.
No, like I think the biggest complaint of the Tomb Raider remake series was too much killing, not enough puzzles and tomb raiding.
No, I mean, I yes, that was at least your complaint for sure. I remember that.
I think it was a lot of people's complaints about them.
That new trilogy that they did was more Uncharted.
It was Uncharted. They were trying to be Uncharted, and that's not what people want from Tomb Raider.
I enjoyed them. They weren't perfect, but like I had enough fun with them.
I don't think I ever played the last one.
The last one was the weakest, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, wasn't that the one also where she had the least amount of kills?
Shadow?
Yeah. No,
was that the least amount of kills?
I don't think so. It was... Yeah. Shadow of the Tomb Raider had an estimated 319, whereas 2013 had a 456. So literally, it was the weakest because she killed the least amount of people. But yeah, so it's fun to go back to some of these games that are nostalgia games for you, and I'm enjoying it. Hoping to beat it in like a couple of weeks. My goal is to have a chill, not stressful February until Resident Evil comes out, and then I'm going to spend the entire weekend beating Resident Evil, and I'll beat it within the weekend, I'm sure. And then we'll get into some more hardcore stuff after I'm done Resident Evil. But yeah, I'm just dicking around and just trying new games out now that I've finally finished Expedition 33.
Nice.
But to add to that, another game I played is if any of our listeners or if anybody here knows of the YouTube channel Viva La Dirt League. They make like little short films. They're not short. They're like 3 to 5-ish minutes. And it's all like nerd based and stuff like that. If you've ever heard of Epic NPC Man, that's them. If you've ever heard of they do a couple of videos where it's like video game logic, and it's like one of the ones they do is they do stuff about Dead by Daylight.
Sorry,
and
I have to run out. Eric is going to be here in a minute.
Yeah, they make fun of the healing hands, where if somebody's hurt in Dead by Daylight, you just walk up to them and you healing hands them, and you just motion your hands on over top of the person to help heal them, stuff like that. And like they make fun of gaming, but they also like they make fun videos, like 5-minute videos about gaming. They're very big. And their biggest world that they have is the Epic NPC Man world, and they created a game based off that world where you are playing as the fisherman in that world. And what happened is that world is based off of like a generic MMORPG,
Okay.
and something happens where the servers get locked and users cannot get into the game. And the only person who becomes a potential like PC playable character or user is the fisherman. And so you're trying to save the game and the server and get the users to be able to come back as a fisherman who the only thing he can do is fish. And so you're leveling up and getting stronger at fishing, so you're fishing stronger and harder fish, and solving puzzles just based on fish. And it's a very tongue-in-cheek, doesn't take itself serious game with just, if you are fans and know of Viva La Dirt League, you, especially the Epic NPC Man world, like, you will know all these references, you'll find it funny, you'll find it enjoyable. Otherwise, like, honestly, you're gonna see this game and be like, oh, that's dumb. And you're probably not gonna like it if you don't know what they are. But it's still just like a silly fishing RPG game with like a silly story to it, and it's good. Like the fishing is very simple. It's you cast your line, and then if you have the bait that the fish wants, they will hook to your line if you cross their face.
Okay.
And then you tap A to reel them in. And then once they turn back to fight against you, you stop tapping A, and they will make like a motion, and you can either hold B to just guard, or tap B to get like a parry and have a better guard. And it's just preventing them from trying to snip your line. You get spells that you can repair your line or deal like damage, quote damage, to the fish to make them easier to reel in. And it's very simple combat. It's nothing too crazy, nothing too wild, and it's just a fun, silly 2D side-scrolling RPG that like I'm enjoying, because I enjoy Viva La Dirt League. I like their content. I love the stuff that they do. They always make me laugh when I watch their stuff. And like I've been wanting to get the game, but I was like, it's not too expensive. It's like I don't know if I'm actually going to ever play it fully. So, like, this is on a Humble Bundle, and I got it. So I was like, you know what, sure. It's because I'm on Humble Choice, so I pay the monthly fee to get X amount of games each month.
Okay.
And this was one of them for last month. The Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6, and Nice Day for Fishing were part of it. And I was like, sure, I'll pay $20 to get, like, 6 games, and 2 of them being games that I actually want. Actually, I think a couple of them were games I wanted. It was a good Humble Bundle this past one. Yeah, it was, I got Tomb Raider 4 through 6 Remaster, Hunt Showdown, which is something I've been wanting to try out, Metal Slug Tactics, Wizard of Legend 2, Settlement Survival, Nice Day for Fishing, like, and Sonic Frontiers, like, which is the new 3D open world Sonic game with a newer, not new. So it was a really good Humble Bundle. I was like, you know what? Sure. $20, $25, something like that, whatever it is, to get all these games that I wanted. Sure, I'll get it. So it was, yeah, and I just wanted, after beating Expedition 33, I was just like, you know what? Let's try this game. Like, instead of playing, instead of playing Date Everything or whatever, I was like, I want to play this, because I've been wanting to check it out since they made it, because I love these guys. And then the last one, Drew, I think you'd be interested in.
Oh?
Is this PvP shooter called Highguard. It's recently been released. It's they're calling it a raid shooter. And I did the little quotes as if everyone could see me. A quote raid shooter where basically it is 2 teams. The game opens up. You can reinforce your base a little bit, And then once the timer counts down, you can leave your base and go looting. And there's treasure chests throughout the world of the level that you can go loot and like maybe set up a different loadout than the one you have, and get maybe slightly stronger weapons, very like similar style of like an Apex or whatever. Get armor and stuff like that. And eventually you could also encounter the other team and fight them. And eventually at some point there will be a countdown, a 1 minute timer, and it'll let you know that the shield breaker is going to spawn. Shield breaker is this like epic sword. And the goal is to your two teams go get the sword and bring it to the opposing team's base to break into their shields, and then attack their base and plant bombs on one of 3 points. So the game goes from being like a sort of open shooter to attack and defend.
I'm back.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's if you're the attacking team, your whole goal is to blow up either the big point or the 2 small points. And both of the either one big point or the 2 small points. You have to do both of them in order to get a clear.
Okay.
In order to get a win. If you're the defending team, you just have to defend for X amount of time and make sure this stuff doesn't blow up. There is like a progress. It's called Highguard.
Is this the game that you started talking about when I was walking out?
No, I was talking about Nice Day for Fishing. We walked out.
I'm going to be talking about Highguard for.
We just started.
Okay.
Man, pay attention.
I was gone, you son of a bitch.
Well, still, pay attention. So there's a progress bar at the top, or like a health bar, essentially, and each team has 100 points. If you get the sword and get to the enemy's base, the enemy loses 30 points. And then if you're able to take out each small marker that you can take out is 35 points apiece. If you are the defending team and are able to defend from the raid from the attacking team, they will then lose 30 points. And then if you get the sword and attack their base, they lose 30 points. And it's just like kind of that back and forth of like trying to whittle down their points. The matches can be very quick if if your teamwork isn't working very well and you're just getting screwed over, or they're just hitting you hard and whatnot. You can get a match that'll go in like 10 minutes, less than. If they can get the sword, get there and take out both of your points or the big point. Or we had a match that took about 45 minutes last night.
Phew. Okay.
Because it was a back and forth. It's a really cool concept. The game initially launched. This is very new, like within the last like 2 to 3 weeks. The game initially launched with a 3v3 style gameplay. Everyone's biggest complaint was 3v3 is not enough people on how big these maps are, which I kind of agree, having had watched people playing it, and even playing it myself. Like, the maps are huge, and having 3 players on each team, like there's a lot of downtime, but I think that's the point of the game, is to have that downtime so you go looting for your gear and then you go in and you fight, and it's not supposed to be quick. It's not supposed to be quick skirmishes. It's supposed to be drawn out skirmishes, I feel. But no one really, people I've watched play it don't really like vibe with the drawn out skirmishes.
Gotcha.
And like I get that. Like sometimes you just want to go in, you want to get it done. If you get killed, you respawn back at your base. But if your team has the shield breaker and you get killed, you can respawn close to the shield breaker. If you're the attacking team and you get killed during the raid, you can respawn right outside the base that you're attacking. But yeah, it's a hero shooter, so there's, I think at the moment it has to be 10 or 11 heroes. Because they have updated it, because people were complaining about 3v3 being too small. They have created an experimental 5v5 mode. And that's what I tended to play yesterday, was the 5v5. And I liked it. I liked the 5v5. I want to give 3v3 a shot to see like what it's like. And their ranked system at the moment is probably going to be 3v3 because that's what they've set the game up for. So they need to find some ways to balance 5v5 because there are limited loot drops. There's limited areas to get loot. And the loot is exponential the longer the mission goes on. So on the first wave, if you're first going out and looting, you're only going to get white or blue weapons. And then on the second wave, if you are able to defend, the second wave, you're going to be able to get purple, blue, and white weapons after opening chests. And then the third wave, you could potentially get like gold weapons and stuff like that. So like the loot gets better the longer the match. But with 5 players, you're running around, you're all opening these chests at the same time, that some of these chests might not be... They don't refresh between rounds. They don't close and reopen between rounds. It's opened, it's done. You can't get back to it. So they might need to have to do some sort of like balancing around that. They definitely need more characters, because especially in 5v5, there were times that I wasn't able to load in fast enough to pick my character, and I was just given a character that was left over because everybody else picked theirs. And it's only one character on the whole map, one of each character on the whole map, not one of each character per team.
Okay.
Which, honestly, I prefer. If you're going to have a small game like that, one of each character on the whole map makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're going to need more characters. And according to the people I was playing with, the roadmap is saying that they're supposed to be releasing 6 characters this year. So over the next, 6 to 10 months, they're going to be releasing, I believe they said, 1 character a month or something like that. And yeah, it's a cool concept. It's neat. I like the idea of, that, attack, defense, sort of tug of war back and forth. I like the idea of if you can get on good comms and you can group up and you can whittle down the team bit by bit so that you're always in an advantage when attacking and getting ready for the raid, it can get very exciting. My first match, I won. My team won. We went down to we attacked them twice and maybe blew up one of their shields. And they ended up only having 5 points left in their shields. And we might have been the same. And we had to clutch up and be get the sword and just destroy the base. That's all we had to do was get the sword and break their shields, and we get the win. And the run up to the base with me carrying the sword and just popping enemies left and right with my whole team just working together. Because the other team, instead of grouping up, they were coming out at us one by one. It was exciting. It can be very exciting, but it also can be very chaotic, which is why I understand why they went with 3v3 at first. But yeah, it's really cool. I don't think there's any real standout characters at the moment. I only played a handful of them. And it's got some legs. It's gonna take some time. I think you might enjoy it though, Drew.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, I just fair warn. It's probably available on consoles and stuff. I don't know yet. I was playing on my PC, but it is still it is not well optimized, and it was killing my system to play it and stream it at the same time. I had to turn off. I usually have the stream avatars on. I had to turn them off, and I had to close out of every window besides my stream and the game and my OBS. I had to make sure everything was off because it's not very well optimized. They gotta fix it. They gotta do some work. I don't think this is considered early access yet or currently. It might be. No, it's not considered early access. So it is the official release. It has some mixed reviews, but I think a lot of the mixed reviews are the 3v3 is small. Or the 3v3 is too small. Some people are complaining about, I don't know. I haven't really read the reviews. I had fun playing it though, and I think
that's all really that matters.
Cool. Yeah, I want to try it more. I want to try to maybe get into it more, but it's just I don't want to just play PvP games. You guys know me. I can't just sit there and play a single game for too long. But it might be something I jump into once a week or once every couple of weeks. But I kind of suck at it right now, but I only suck at it because I just started playing it. But I also just am bad at PvP in general, and I panic. So,
have you considered just getting good?
I mean, it takes time to get good. My first match yesterday, I had 8 kills, and I carried my team at 8 kills. Where the next lowest amount of kills on my team was 15. And then 22. So I totally carried my team. But then the rest of the night, I would be lucky to get like 3 or 4 kills. And I'm so glad and also bummed out and frustrated that the game doesn't give you more stats than just kills and revives because like I'm sure my KD ratio was garbage. It was garbage. And that's like another complaint people like it doesn't give you assists or anything like that. It just gives you how many kills you did, how many revives you did, and how many walls you destroyed. Of all the stats, like walls are important to destroy when you're doing the raid, but at the same time, I want to know how my assists were. Like, was I helpful? Like,
Right.
I don't care how many walls I broke. I think they really need to have an overhaul on some of the powers of each of the heroes. The one starting hero, his powers are really just breaking walls, and that's it. And at times, you don't want to break the walls. So, like when you're attacking the enemy base, you don't want to have all the walls around you broken because then they can shoot you from outside. You want to be able to break the walls to get into somewhere, but you don't want to break all of the walls around you. And his one ability is just a roar that breaks all of the walls around him.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so it's like, well, that kind of sucks. And then that's his ultimate. His like other ability, his tactical, I guess you would call it, is he can do a lunging slashing attack against walls and break them in one hit. But like I didn't recognize if it really did much damage to players. So it kind of made him useless because to me, in my opinion, yes, I want to break a wall to get somewhere, like I said, but I don't want to break them all. I don't want to give the enemies attacking me or defending the base easier ways to get to me. So it's interesting. Like they might need to do a little bit of an overhaul on some of the abilities because some of them seemed way too strong. I was running a character who can summon imps and they will like throw attacks at the enemies. And it seemed pretty good. Its ultimate you like summon like a stationary guardian, and so I would use it to defend the bomb, and it really didn't seem like it did much at all. Its range was very very short. And like I would have the guardian right next to the bomb and they would just be on the other side of the point to defend, defusing the bomb and not getting attacked or hit at all by my guardian. I don't think I ever saw it do any damage.
So you'll get good, is what I'm hearing. You're gonna put in 1,000 hours, and you're gonna get good.
I mean, I might try it. I might try it like off stream from time to time, and
you don't play games off stream. Don't lie to us.
I do. I got the last.
Name 7.
Name 7 games I play off stream. I've played off stream. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me go to my Settlement Survival. I played off stream. Kin and Quarry. I played off stream.
Wait, are these Let's Play YouTube videos?
No.
Okay, because those don't count.
Frostpunk. I played off stream. I play Super Smash Bros. And Mario Kart off stream. Where are we at? 5 at this point. And I mean that's only in the last like month. There's 5 games there that I've played off stream. I have played Monster Hunter off stream at times, and I did play Expedition 33 off stream to get to the level 99 achievement off stream. So there you go.
Wow, so you're doing a whole lot of content offline. What about your community?
I mean, these games, like Kin and Quarry was a game that I was watching somebody play on YouTube, and I hated how they were playing it, and I just had to play it myself to prove to myself that they were playing it bad. And it was only like $10, and it's not a game that I would ever play on stream because it's a pseudo idle game. Like it's not super idle, but it's kind of idle. And in the let's see, what is the play time for this? In the 4.5 hours I played it when I bought it, I got all the achievements. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I don't need to play this anymore. I know that they played it poorly. Sometimes I just see games like that. And I'm like, man, you are playing this wrong. I need to play this to prove that you're playing this wrong. And then I play it and I'm like, this is not worth making a video of, so I'm not going to make a video of this. Yeah. I played Jackbox off stream too, man. Like, there you go.
Okay, fine. You play some games off stream.
I occasionally play games off stream. Depends on how I'm feeling.
I guess I'll allow it.
You don't have to allow it. It's just going to happen. But yeah, so those are like the couple of new games I've played recently. Yeah. It's been a good time. Been a good time on stream, not being depressed about not being able to defeat a super boss. It's been nice to just be like, all right, I can just play whatever I want and not be like constrained on time or feel like I'm wasting people's time by just failing the entire time.
I can understand that.
I also played Icarus off stream as well the first time I played it.
To make sure you weren't real bad at it.
I played it to learn how to play it because I wanted to play it with somebody else, and I just wanted to understand how the game and the world worked because it's a survival crafting whatnot game. And I just wanted to understand how it all worked before I played it with them, and then I liked it, and so I was like, "Hey, I'm going to play this on stream a day or two later," because I was like, I just want to play something. It was when I needed a break from Expedition 33. I was like, "All right, let me just play this because I don't know what else to play right now."
Okay.
So there.
Yeah, you know what? You did play some games off stream. I'm proud of you.
I think that was 7. That might have been 7.
I think that might have been more than 7.
I mean, technically, Jackbox is like 4 games in one. So there.
No.
Yeah.
Nope. Don't.
But
no.
Cobb.
Yes.
You watched some TV.
I did. Well, caught up on some stuff too.
Yeah.
So we kind of we were looking for stuff to watch and realized that there had been a bunch of new seasons of Apple TV shows that we had watched a year plus ago that just never got around to or never got back to, not realizing that there were new seasons for it. So the first one we kind of powered through because it's hilarious is Shrinking. We had watched the first season 2 years ago. This is the show with Jason Segel and Harrison Ford and a whole bunch of other people where Harrison Ford, Jason Segel, and I don't know the other actress are all therapists. And they all work at the same office and everything like that. And Jason Segel, he's a dad whose wife died in a car accident a couple years before. And in the first season, it opens where he's just a fucking mess. He's drinking, doing drugs, ignoring his daughter. He's in a real bad place. And through that first season, he kind of gets back to himself and starts focusing on his life again. The second season, it kind of just continues from there where they're basically trying to find their new normal while also dealing with stuff with their friends and family and all that. And meanwhile, the guy who is actually responsible for his wife's death kind of comes back into the picture trying to make amends in a way. Because it was a drunk driving accident. And Jason Segel's character blames him very much, but his daughter doesn't. So it's a little bit, and his daughter's 17. So it's there's some infighting and stuff there, but it's one of those shows where it's got such fantastic writing that the cast just nails. Harrison Ford doesn't do comedies too often. When you see him and stuff, he's usually, especially in the last 20 years, he's usually just kind of the grumpy guy. He might be funny, but his role isn't necessarily comedic, or the movie he's in isn't necessarily comedic. In this, it's a comedy. He's hilarious. He's still kind of the grumpy old guy, but he's leaning into the comedy parts of it more, and he's fucking fantastic at it. He's he's playing the older therapist, and he has Parkinson's. So he's still in the early stages of it. But that's a big part of his story is kind of dealing with that, coming to terms with it, reconnecting with his estranged family essentially. But there's one scene, and I think it might have actually been in the first season. I was just looking up quotes before we started, and there's one scene in his office where he's I don't get this. You raw dogged me in public, now you're raw dogging me in the office, not knowing what that term means.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget who was in the office with him, but I just remember it being very funny. And there's quite a few scenes where Jason Segel will be talking to his daughter, and his segues are always ill-timed about his wife's death. He's trying to bring up something serious, but he segues into it like you would for something lighthearted. And it's always speaking of car accidents, remember that guy that killed your mom in a drunk driving accident? When he's trying to tell his daughter that that guy had tried to make amends with him. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of just really, really fucked up stuff, but absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And it a little there's like some drama and some seriousness stuff in there too, but like it's like great character relationships, great like character dynamics and growth between like the cast and all. And the third season actually just started, but in the second season they even do like some flashbacks. Specifically they do one episode that kind of shows us leading up to the car accident from like the driver's point of view. And like, did either of you guys watch Ted Lasso by chance?
I have not.
Not
I
at
want to
all.
though.
All right. I kind of assumed, Drew, you didn't, but there was always that like chance because it's sports related.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
been a thing I've always heard is very good, and I would probably like, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So the guy that plays Roy Kent on that show is the drunk driver. He's also one of the co-creators of Shrinking, so that makes a little bit more sense. But the one episode kind of follows him, but it also shows us like all of our main characters, and you kind of get to see that like 3 years prior, a lot of the relationships were just different. Like the neighbors, which it's Dr. Cox's wife from Scrubs and the second husband of the neighbor from Married with Children are those actors. I can't think of either of their names right now. But they're like
Neighbor from Mary. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. You know Dr. Cox's wife from Scrubs though, right?
Yeah, it's what is her name? But it's Bill Lawrence's wife, which is why she's in it.
I didn't know
Bill
that was him.
Lawrence is that. Yeah, they're married.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I did not know that.
Krista Miller.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
They're like the neighbors, and like they're a little kind of like much, but they also when Jason Segel's character was kind of like spiraled for like a year or whatever, they like basically took in his daughter and like took care of her, even though like prior to that they really weren't close, and like that then turned into like they're all essentially like family now. So like you know there's a lot of like good stuff going on in there, and it's just it's a really really funny show. Just Apple TV seems to be one of the like it sucks that it's another subscription service, but like the shows and stuff they do are actually really quality. At least every one that I've watched. Like I haven't watched one and been like, oh, this kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Every one of them, and even the ones that have been like canceled, have been like, this was totally worth watching. I would say Shrinking is probably one that it's just worth subscribing to the platform for that show alone.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Bill Lawrence. I want to watch Cougar Town because I've never actually watched it, but I know it's an incredible show. But I'm like pretty much a fan of anything Bill Lawrence does, and I've wanted to watch this for so long. I just never got around to it. And it wasn't until mid last year that iPhone or Android finally got an Apple TV app that like I'm like I could watch it now. I just haven't.
I actually didn't realize there was an app for it now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's finally an app. Yeah, I have an Apple TV app on my Android. Yeah, it's fairly recent that they did this too. Like within the last year that they added it. And with Godzilla coming out at the end of the month, or the new Godzilla show season coming out at the end of the month, I'll definitely be like, all right, let me get back into the Apple TV. Because there's just so much on there, so much quality. Ted Lasso, Shrinking. What was that show about? Everyone's blind. It had Momoa in it.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I have not watched that one.
Yeah, I've always wanted to watch that. Never got around to it.
Severance is also a really good one.
Severance has been on my list for so long.
Yeah, we've really only watched like comedy, like sitcom-y sort of things on there because they're generally quick and fun to get through. But we did watch the first season of Severance, and Severance was fantastic.
Yeah, Severance is I've heard nothing but good about Severance.
Yeah, they also had like there's a show. It was I don't think it was called Murder Mystery, but it was essentially a murder mystery show where each season was like a different murder mystery, with like the same core characters, and like only one of them was a cop. So it's not like it was like following like a detective or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was 2 seasons, and it was one of those shows where basically the whole cast of the show outside of like the core people were like famous people from stuff that you'd recognize them from, as well as recognizing like the core people. But like Dave Franco was in the one season. Harold from Harold and Kumar. I'm drawing a John Cho. Was in the one season. Like a lot of just like people like you're like I know that guy.
And shocker, the movie or the show where everyone's blind is called C.
Right. I knew it had like a weird, like kind of ironic name to it. But yeah, like absolutely, like if you like dramedies, especially like Shrinking is absolutely worth watching. Most episodes average like the 30-minute mark. Sometimes they're like 35 minutes. But they're usually not like hour-long episodes. I think the third season premiere was an hour, but I don't know that any other episode had been. But absolutely worth checking out. And then along the Apple TV Plus stuff, we also watched the second season of the show Platonic, which is Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne, who you know they were together in those Neighbor movies, so there's that connection there. But in this show, they're like old friends from like college. That in the first season they kind of reconnect after not talking for a number of years. And Rose Byrne's character is like she's a stay-at-home mom, but like she's also a lawyer. Like she has like her law degree and passed the bar and everything. Her husband's like a partner at a law firm, and they have like a bunch of kids. And when she reconnects with Seth Rogen, they kind of both bring out the worst in each other. And they just kind of spiral, and both of their lives kind of just get like turned to shit for like that whole season. And like by the end of it, they've kind of like not like stopped talking to each other, but they've like settled into like something more like manageable of a friendship. And season 2 picks up where Rose Byrne's character has started a like party planning business. And she is planning the wedding of Seth Rogen and the woman that he got engaged to at the end of the first season. And much like the first season, it just kind of spirals from there. It's a lot of them doing things that just don't make any sense and just kind of unintentionally fucking up each other's lives. Usually, and like never maliciously. It's just like everything that could go wrong when these two are together goes wrong. But they're fun to watch together. And you like actually end up feeling bad for like everybody around them because they are just you put them together and just everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
But so like this season, it's a lot of them both trying to like basically like get their careers in line, because like Seth Rogen is like a I don't know what they'd be called, like a beer brewing person. Like so like in the first season, he's like a co-owner of like a brewery that like he was the head brewer for, but then like kind of gets kicked out of that from like his like business partners, and then he gets a job at a corporate company, but that falls through, and now he's like trying to like get all that shit back on track in the second season. And like I said, like Rose Byrne's character is trying to juggle her family, her husband who is having like basically like a midlife crisis, and her own like startup business, while like both of them are just doing everything wrong that they could possibly do wrong. Like like one of the early things in the show, it's Seth Rogen's engagement party, and the wrong champagne. Oh no, it wasn't the wrong champagne. He invited his old business partners who were all just fucking degenerates, and they came with acid, and 2 of them took acid, and then they put like a tab in one of the champagne flutes for their other friend. Then lost track of the champagne flute, so they then had to Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne's characters had to go like basically get everyone to stop drinking the champagne and then go try and like find more. And it like ends up with them like essentially stealing like they paid for it, but they essentially stole champagne from like a liquor store, and then driving home because of the way that they got it, it was not in boxes or anything, and they hit a bump and all of it shattered. So like the next scene is them like mixing Sprite and some sort of liquor together to try and like make some semblance of a champagne for people. It's just everything is done with those two, everything. But it's like they're not. And Rich, I know like you don't like shows where like the people are like bad people, like you're Always Sunnies and stuff. Like this show makes them sound like they're bad people, but they're actually not. Like, you know what does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get it. They're yeah, it's and it's not every show that I don't like where they're bad, but yeah, there's a lot of shows where I'm just and it is generally comedies where I'm like, bad people doing stupid shit. It's not always funny to me. But this doesn't sound like this just sounds like they're doing their best.
Like
kind of thing.
They're definitely both a little selfish at times, and they bring out, like I said, they bring out the worst in each other. But like at the end of the day, it's not that they're not like bad people the way like frankly the entire cast of Always Sunny are just bad people.
Yeah.
They're just they're kind of in their own little worlds, and when they get together, they just bring out the worst in each other.
Yeah.
But both of those shows are fun. I definitely recommend them. I would again like Shrinking. Just it is worth subscribing to Apple TV Plus for that. Everything else on there is just kind of like a bonus.
Yeah.
And I don't really have anything to talk about on it, but I did also I started playing Jedi Survivor again. Forgot how good those games are.
Yeah. I still need to play Survivor.
It's because you played Fallen Order, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Survivor, like I just kind of picked up where I left off and kind of had to like fumble through it a little bit, but like I forgot like how good those games are and like how well they kind of like set up things in that universe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a fun game.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to play a little bit more of it like over the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah. But I think that's probably going to be a show.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice. Well, in that case, if you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of it helps. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at one_quest on Instagram and Twitter. And our Blue Sky is one-quest.com. And then YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo. And you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. And then, Rich, what is your streaming looking like?
Twitch.tv/B_walnuts for video game streaming, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. We're kind of just up in the air, figuring shit out, just playing whatever we want to play, mostly Tomb Raider, and just whatever else until Resident Evil comes out. But come hang out on Sunday for the Super Bowl party that I'll be having to celebrate the big game. We'll be streaming sometime around 1 till about 4-ish. Before I head out for the big game. So come hang out with me on stream on that afternoon for some Super Bowl fun.
Nice. Cool. Well, with that, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See yous.